Dark clouds gather over a silent Brussels skyline as twilight bleeds into night. The camera glides over wet streets, lampposts reflected in puddles, until it settles on a solitary drone hovering above, its red LED blinking like a heartbeat in the gloom. Somewhere in subterranean halls of power and in distant warehouses, unseen hands are moving pieces on a board that will change everything. The hum of hidden engines, the whispers on encrypted lines, the fear in silent eyes, all herald the beginning of something catastrophic. We open on Detective Aisha Moreau, standing on a balcony in her modest apartment. The city below is calm, but her gut tells her otherwise. She checks her phone, sees a cryptic message. They move tonight. Her eyes dart to the darkening sky. Meanwhile, Victor van der Kind, deep in the National Security Center, furrows his brow at screens full of blinking dots and signal traces. He senses the data shifting under his fingers, the patterns dissolving even as he tracks them. Across the city, a massive, abandoned warehouse at Antwerp hums with quiet preparations. Drones assembled, payloads readied, circuits humming in dim light. This is not just a story of terrorism, it is a betrayal from within. Every corner of the state, every system trusted to protect you may harbor the seeds of dread. Over the next 10 scenes, we'll peel back every layer of conspiracy, fear, and sacrifice. Stay with me. What you see next might shatter what you believe. Aisha leans over her desk in the dim office, the glow of her laptop the only light in the room. She replays footage from the previous night, glitching, missing frames, suspicious blurs she can barely make out, something hovering over the royal district. Her fingers tremble as she zooms in on a faint silhouette. She thinks this was no toy drone. Outside the window, rain begins to fall, pattering softly like a warning. Meanwhile, Victor pores over radar logs and signal intercepts at the National Security Center. He notices an anomaly, an erratic frequency spike that appears for mere seconds, bouncing through nested relay nodes in multiple countries before vanishing. It's as though someone is routing commands through ghost channels. He runs trace protocols only to find parts of the signal scrubbed. His heart pounds. Someone is erasing their footprints even as they walk. In a secure room in the Ministry of Defense, Minister Claire Dubois and General Martins discuss warily what the reports mean. Martins presses her. They must act, though the public mustn't panic. Dubois, torn, cautions secrecy. Yet both feel the tension of obligation, of a nation vulnerable. As Aisha's phone buzzes with a new warning, "They're watching you." She realizes she's already being pulled into a web far deeper than she ever imagined. That night, Aisha and Victor meet in secret in a nondescript van near the city outskirts. Screens and antennas mounted for covert work. The wipers swipe rain from the windshield as they triangulate signals, grappling with interference, encryption, spoofing. Aisha's voice is tense as she calls in bits of coordinates. Victor works furiously, trying to peel back layers of digital obfuscation. The van's interior glows blue with monitors, the outside darkness pressing in. Victor murmurs that the signals trace to civilian zones, yet use military-grade channels. Someone is using state infrastructure to hide these transmissions. Aisha's heart hammers. She looks at Victor with desperation. Who is powerful enough to hijack this much technology? They determine a key hub lies in a warehouse near the port of Antwerp, one previously flagged in Aisha's files. She grips the door handle. They move. Driving through narrow roads and rainy darkness, the van approaches the warehouse. The building looms, cold and silent, chains rattling in the wind, windows broken, shadows shifting within. The drizzle drips off metal pipes. They pause outside, breathing cold air, listening. From within, faint beeps and metallic murmurs suggest machines are alive. The plot is no longer abstract. It is real, close, inevitable. Inside the warehouse, Aisha and Victor slip through corridors of crates and half-assembled drones. The floors are slick with oil. The smell of circuitry and metal lingers. They glimpse drone chassis, wires, payload modules, and specialized cameras. Their footsteps echo. Victor draws up schematics. The drones bear serial codes belonging to a defense contractor. This is not a rogue cell. This is industry-turned-weapon. As they press deeper, the silent hum rises. Lights flicker and shadows move. A faint click echoes. One of the masked operatives guarding the interior fires a warning shot. Aisha dives behind crates. Victor scrambles to jam the system. Sparks fly from overhead cables. The drones flick to life. The warehouse becomes a staging ground for mechanized terror. The masked man steps into the dim line of sight, gun drawn. His voice is low. "You're not supposed to be here." Aisha's hand moves toward her sidearm. The tension cracks like taut wire. Above them, the first drone powers up, its red LED blazing. The moment holds as predator and prey catch each other's breath before the storm breaks. Chaos erupts. The masked operative fires. Bullets ricochet off metal shelves. Drones swivel into motion, their rotors whirring in unison. Aisha rolls behind industrial crates, heart pounding. Victor slams keys on his device, trying to override the swarm. Overhead lights flick and motors spin. Their sanctuary becomes a cage. Victor yells that he can jam signals, briefly. Aisha covers him, returns fire, forces the masked man back. Sparks, smoke, the smell of ozone, and the screams of steel fill the warehouse. The drones hesitate, flicker in their flight. The moment is theirs. They sprint to the back exit. Rain, wind, cold night greet them as they burst outside. But just when they think escape is close, a black SUV blocks their path. Figures in tactical gear emerge. Aisha raises her gun, recognizing the insignia. The masked man's voice echoes, "This isn't a threat. It's a national project." Her world tilts. Was she opposing enemies or her own government? Before answers form, the van's engine roars, and they drive into darkness, bullets shattering behind them. Inside the van, rain slashes the windows, wipers frantic. Aisha and Victor catch breaths, bruised and drenched. Tension crackles between them. Victor opens new data fragments on his laptop. Encrypted logs of Operation Skyveil. What was once a Black Ops drone defense experiment has been revived in secrecy. The files suggest the goal: to manufacture fear so power can tighten its grip. Outside, 2 black SUVs tail them through narrow forest roads. Bullets slam glass. Victor's eyes flare. They are being hacked remotely. The van system falters. The dashboard flickers, controls seize. Aisha swerves while Victor wrestles code to regain control. The chase curves through trees, tires screeching. A thunderstorm above, headlights slicing the mist. They flee down winding roads until the SUVs vanish, or momentarily do. The forest hums, the rain softens. For a fleeting moment they feel lost, isolated, betrayed by the very systems meant to protect. But their resolve hardens. They now carry the truth. They must expose it, even if they have to die doing so. At dawn, the van rests hidden in fog. Victor traces their intercepted signals to a disconnected uplink registered under an abandoned tech firm in Ghent. The building is decrepit, overshadowed by ivy and broken windows, yet within its walls, servers hum alive. The ghost network lurks here. They enter quietly, hearts pounding, scanning walls covered in corrosion. Victor interfaces with a console, breaking through firewalls. The name General Martins flashes, his data signature embedded within hidden nodes. Aisha's suspicion becomes certainty. Martins is not its enemy, he is its architect. They step further, lights dim, devices flicker. A voice springs from hidden speakers. "You should not be trespassing. The system goes dark." The hum of drones outside intensifies. Aisha and Victor brace for breach. A single red light appears in the haze through broken glass. The conspirator behind it all now speaks calmly, chillingly. "You have no idea what's coming." The walls seem to narrow. The network pulses. The war moves from hidden corridors to open sky. The horizon glows with red dots, drones forming a menacing constellation above the city. The mechanical hum vibrates in Aisha's bones. Victor watches as thermal scans lock on their position. These drones no longer need remote pilots. They act autonomously. Their control system has overridden fail-safes. The city's heart is under siege. Aisha covers her ears as the swarm sweeps overhead, blades slicing the air. She grips her gun. Victor deploys a hacking flare, trying to blind their sensors. Sparks cloud the visuals. Drones stagger in air. The sky becomes a lattice of red beacons moving like insects. Heartbeats sync to mechanical pulses. As they retreat to the van, radio crackles with an ominous update. Phase 2, target lock Brussels. Aisha's chest squeezes. They barrel into the highway, the city drawing nearer. Red lights from above drip like blood. The first sirens wail. The war arrives home. Brussels is ablaze with panic. Drones hover above government towers while citizens flood the streets, eyes upward in fear. The army is mobilized, yet confusion reigns. Amid the turmoil, Aisha's phone vibrates. Minister Dubois calling. She confesses. She was complicit, manipulated, powerless. She says Martins convinced her. A controlled terror would force unity. Aisha's stomach twists at a betrayal so high. Suddenly, the van's screen flashes. Deliver evidence to Parliament, 1 hour before activation. A trap, perhaps, but the only lead they have. The van plows through closed roads, emergency vehicles, chaos. They weave around barricades. Behind them, an armored convoy closes in, Martin's unit. Gunfire explodes against sheet metal. Aisha swerves. Victor uploads data live to backup servers. A rocket slams their van. The impact shreds glass. Flames engulf metal. Aisha coughs in smoke. Martins emerges through the haze, gun in hand. You cannot stop order, he says softly. Before he can fire, Victor triggers an EMP from the dashboard. Drones glitch, vehicles stall, chaos reverses. In the flicker, the balance of power tilts, if only for a moment. The city trembles as drones detonate one by one above central districts. Explosions bloom like flowers of ruin. Aisha, bleeding, crawls among wreckage. Victor fights to keep his laptop alive. Smoke, fire, twisted metal surround them. The city screams. The skies rain debris. Martins stands distant, watching the damage, unmoved. He claims his vision is sacrifice, purification. Aisha's rage roars back. She fires. Martins recoils. Victor types a final override command. If successful, it will reroute the swarm's control back to the legitimate defense grid. The key prompt glows, authorization required. Aisha slams her badge ID on the scanner. The drones freeze mid-air like birds struck by silence. But Martins laughs. Final protocol, manual detonation. One drone explodes, triggering a cascade. Light floods the sky. The world mourns. The silence after the roar is deafening. In the blaze and ash, Aisha cradles Victor, staggering to her knees. The shockwave has subsided. The sky's dull. But the city lies broken. Victor whispers that the reroute worked partially. Half the swarm shut down, the rest neutralized. Aisha cries out to the skies, "We stopped them," though the cost may be too high. She presses broadcast evidence on Victor's laptop, sending videos, files, intercepted orders to every media network. Screens across Europe light up. General exposed. Conspiracy revealed. Protesters flood squares. The people rise. Soldiers arrest cartels of power. Martins lies subdued, his empire unraveling. Aisha looks at the sky where a single red LED still glints faintly, vanishing into dawn. She whispers into the wind, "The storm is over." For now. As daylight breaks over Brussels, the scars of a hidden war remain visible. Charred facades, shattered glass, silent streets. Yet in homes and hearts a new light grows, that even in the darkest conspiracies truth can find a way. Aisha walks through empty streets. battered but unbroken, carrying Victor's memory, her belief, the files that will guard the future. The camera rises to the sky. A faint red light flickers and then disappears. The battle may have ended, but the war for truth never sleeps. If this story gripped you, if you felt every heartbeat, every betrayal, every sacrifice, do me one favor, hit subscribe. Because in a world of shadows, your eyes are the only light. You may never know when the next storm is waiting.